Welcome into the Todd Bowles Show. Casey Phillips here with head coach Todd Bowles. First of all, the reaction to winning the coin toss. Tell me how that felt in the moment.
It was huge because Levante always takes tails because he wants the defense to go up first. And before the game, I said, you need to pick heads, and then overtime, make sure you pick heads. And he won both tosses.
Wow, he's our good luck charm now as well. Is that fair to say?
When he wants to be, he's our good luck charm. When he wants the defense to go out, he'll call tails.
So funny. So tell me, what did this win say about this team and getting the overtime, and what did it mean to them getting to win this way?
It was more about the growth from the first half of the season from the games we lost. It's about finishing in 2 minutes offensively. Did a very good job. They did a very good job with the clock, with the timeouts, getting the ball down in the field goal range and understanding what we practiced and taking it over to the game. So that part was huge for us, and it meant a lot. It meant an awful lot from a toughness standpoint.
And then, man, Bucky's game, 152 yards rushing, 33 receiving. First over 100-yard rushing game of his career. Now he has back-to-back games with over 150 scrimmage yards. First rookie to do that since 2019. These last two games in particular, but overall, just what have you seen from the way the offense has chosen to use him and the way he's coming on this last half of the season to just be such a massive part of this offense?
He's gotten more comfortable with the offense, and the more comfortable he gets, the more we can give him from a rookie standpoint. Obviously, him and Rachaad have some big runs in this ball game, but he has things you can't teach. He can make people miss. He can make people miss in the open field. He can make people miss in tight spaces, and he played a heck of a ball game for us.
I feel like we've done a lot of these stats where it's compared to other rookies, what we've said with him, but now looking also, he's fourth in the league in yards per rush and yards per touch, behind Jahmyr Gibbs, Saquon Barkley, and Derrick Henry, and that's it. So what does that say to you about not just where he's at from a rookie standpoint, but across the whole league looking at running backs?
He's definitely not a rookie right now, and I think the whole league is looking at that, and they see that we have a player in what we have here. So he's making great strides. He understands the game so well, and he loves to compete. Again, he's the first player in the building every morning, and you just love where he's at mentally.
And how do we feel about his health moving forward, seeing that he'd had that hip issue during the game?
A little early right now, but we'll see how the week goes for him.
And then I know first half, you talked about the growth of what ended up happening as the game went on, but first half, he only had 32 rushing yards with a 3.55 yard average. What seemed to change first half to second half for him?
We committed to the run a lot more in the second half than we did the first half. We kind of shot ourselves in the foot early in the first half with the turnovers, but in the second half, we kind of settled down. The offensive line settled down. Liam started pounding the ball, and Rachaad and Bucky were making some great runs.
What stands out to you about the 43-yard run, and then especially some of the other guys that contributed to making it a success?
Again, he made some cuts. He made some cuts to get out in the open space, but they did a heck of a job combo blocking up. The entire offensive line did a heck of a job all game, especially Tristan was coming back from injury and playing the entire game like that the way he did. Those guys played tough. They played hard. They shook everything off at halftime, and they got it done.
It also felt like the tight ends were a big part of some of the blocking that was happening in the game. How exciting is that to see when you've got multiple guys out there at the tight end position being able to be keys in that area?
Tight ends and wide receivers, specifically Trey Palmer. Trey Palmer did a heck of a job blocking. Obviously, Cade and Payne and Cole do a heck of a job as well.
And then how about the touchdown that he got? Take us through kind of that play and even that drive overall, the fact that he got touches on 8 of 11 of the plays on that drive. What stood out to you about those plays in that drive?
That was his drive completely. Again, we kept it on the ground for the most part. He was pounding the rock. The offensive line came off the ball great. He just saw the openings.
And then how about Rachaad? I know he had his 38-yarder to help set up that game-winning field goal. What stood out about that run and that play and his ability to come in there like that?
That was huge. That was one of the plays of the game as well. He came outside. He got a great block. He got a great block from the O-line, and when he sprung it outside, he took it all the way down the field. Great vision by him, great balance by him, great getting the tackles off of him.
And what did you see from the rest of Rachaad's game outside of that play? I know Bucky got so much of the attention there, but I know Rachaad had some key moments as well.
Rachaad had some tough runs. He had some big runs as well. Bucky's a little more shiftier, so his were more exciting, but at the same time, Rachaad and Bucky as a 1-2 punch, it helped us immensely, and he played a heck of a ball game.
And then Baker, I know he expressed that it wasn't especially the first half he would have liked, but the game overall. But take us through, first of all, just his couple interceptions and what seemed to go wrong there.
There were two errant throws. We got it down the short yardage. The other side was wide open. If he'd have looked there, he would have had a play. And then before the half, going on 2 minutes, we turned the ball over. We held it too long. But he went to halftime. He shook it off. He came back out. He made some plays. He got us down the field in 2 minutes. And then he took us down there in overtime.
What does this say to you that essentially this is not one of Baker's better games necessarily, but to see that he is still doing what it takes to get the win? What kind of things about his game allow him to be doing that, even when, as he said after game, he felt like it wasn't a great performance for him to still do enough?
It wasn't, but he's resilient, and it's a team game. He's resilient, and he gathered himself. He got himself back together. He was composed in the second half. He understood what he did wrong in the first half, and he went out and he won the game for us.
I know, again, it's early in the week, but how do we feel about his health and the way you guys plan to keep an eye on that throughout the week?
He's sore. He'll be sore this week, but I'm pretty sure he'll be out there Sunday.
And then I know also Mike Evans, a guy you're pretty excited to have out there on Sundays again.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, man, 118 yards, lots of chunk plays, and just to see the success that he's having, again, so quickly back from injury. It doesn't feel like he had to, get acquainted at all. It felt like he just hit the ground running again, literally as well as metaphorically. And tell me, just to have a game like that for him at this point, what that ended up meaning to the offense and what it's like to have a guy come back from injury like that and just be ready to go.
He was huge. I mean, we needed every catch. He made some big plays all throughout the game. He made a big play in 2 minutes. He made some big first downs. He made a hell of a touchdown grab. And Mike is doing Mike things, and we're glad to have him back out there.
You've watched a lot of football in your career. His touchdown, does that play get you fired up, excited, surprise you? Have you just seen so much now that you're hard to impress, or does even things like that, what Mike does?
It was impressive. It was more impressive when I saw the replay. First, I thought it was just a regular one-handed grab, but to get his hand, one hand up there and get his feet down with somebody hanging on him, that was impressive.
And what did you see it do to the rest of the offense and just the way that the defense has to adjust for him?
It gives us energy. You got to double him. If you don't double him, he's going to be a problem all day. And when you double him, he's even a problem. But it gives everybody energy. It gets everybody going, and it helps you want to play.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back on the Todd Bowles Show. Welcome back into the Todd Bowles Show. Casey Phillips here with head coach Todd Bowles. Defensively, man, 2 of the 3 first drives, 3 and out. What did that tell you about the way your defense was able to start things?
They were focused. They were ready to play. We understood the assignments. Those guys carried out. The communication was great. The sudden changes that they had to go out there when we shanked the punt and when we got the interception that put them down in the red zone, they stood up and they made some plays.
What's it like even just early in a game with that rhythm of where you guys are getting some 3 and outs, but then the offense is also getting some 3 and outs? How hard is that to kind of manage in that moment of keeping everyone where they need to be?
It's not hard. It's just about defensively not letting them score. It's a mindset, and it's a mindset they've had all week in the last 2 weeks, really, and we just got to continue it.
I know for our offense, started with some of those 3 and outs, started 0-8 on 3rd down, finished 2 of 12. What did you see about why the offense was kind of struggling to get going, first of all, that then was able to kind of get fixed a little bit later?
Shooting ourselves in the foot with penalties, minor mistakes here and there, got it together at halftime, came back out, played a lot better.
I know that Cade was such a big part of the offense while it was both Mike and Chris were out. Now that Mike is back, it looks like Cade's production has fallen off a little bit. Is that just out of Mike is back and so there's less to go around, or is there something lately that has kind of affected Cade's catch totals and yard totals?
He cut his hair.
We're sticking with it.
He cut his hair. He cut his hair and his total went down. No, but it doesn't have anything to do with his catch total. We have some things to go downfield more. Cade was doing more of those things when Mike was out. We'll still have him involved in quite a few things, and he'll be a factor down the stretch.
How important was it to get Tristan back from injury, and just what did you see as what it did for this whole offensive line, run game, protection, everything?
Just to have him out there, I think it got the offensive line excited. But Tristan played a heck of a ball game. You know, even half of Tristan is more of anybody else, but he competed. He played his butt off. You rarely could see him. He didn't limp when he was out there, and he finished the job. Just hats off to him.
And what did you see from the couple sacks that there were? How much was it a protection breakdown, coverage sack, Baker hanging onto the ball? What did you see from each of them?
I know one for sure was a coverage sack. Once they had a pressure, we just got to get rid of the ball earlier, and one they had good coverage on. So, give them credit.
And then I know you guys defensively, stopping the run always first and foremost on your minds. To be able to hold Hubbard to just 43 yards rushing has to be a pretty big win in your mind. What did you see that your defense was able to do well to slow him down when he's had a pretty great year?
Getting off the ball up the middle. It started with Cansey and Vita, obviously, getting off the ball. But Yaya and Nelson played great on the outside. Golston came in and made a bunch of plays, and the safeties and the corners were tackling as well. So it was a group effort.
And yeah, overall for the defensive line, what stood out to you about their game as a whole?
Tough, all of them tough. I thought Cansey really played in the backfield all day. What plays he didn't make, he caused others to make. I thought Yaya and Nelly on the edge played very well, and they played strong on the outside and won't let the ball get around the corner.
Yeah, take us through Anthony Nelson's forced fumble. What stood out to you about that?
The fact that he understood his assignment, we've been raking the ball the past couple of weeks, and for him to make that play and go in there and take the ball out of there, that was huge for us because they were like in field goal range for us to get that out of there, and Nelly to be aware and have the wherewithal to get that ball out was huge.
Yeah, it's for what it meant to the game specifically, and then to know even just what this game meant to our season and playoff hopes. Is there a chance that may be one of the most important plays all season?
Till date right now, and there'll be bigger ones coming. So it's going to be like that every week, and somebody else is going to have to step up and make plays every week, and we got guys that's ready to do it.
When you were watching the fumble bounce around and seeing Yaya go after it, tell me what's going through your mind.
I was like dive on the ball because it looked like he was taking his sweet time trying to pick up and run, and it was. He finally got it and gathered it and got it together, but he was kind of tiptoeing around it. We're going to have a discussion about that.
A discussion. I like that. Yeah, how about his game overall? I know he got some pressure, tackle for loss, and just what was his production prior to that?
He played well. I mean, he played physical, he played tough, he played hard, he set the edge well. Him and Nelly had the same stats. They both had a bunch of tackles, a bunch of quarterback pressures, and a bunch of quarterback hits.
Yeah, and what does it say about Anthony Nelson that he has been leading outside linebackers in sacks when he gets a lot fewer snaps than some of these other guys, of just the way he's able to take those snaps and really make the most of them?
He always makes the most of his snaps. He doesn't get that many fewer reps than the starters. We count on him as a third starter anyway, but he played and he came out. The more he's on the field, the more plays he makes, and we can't be dumb as coaches. We got to play him more.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back on the Todd Bowles Show. Welcome back into the Todd Bowles Show. Casey Phillips here with head coach Todd Bowles. So take us through kind of that end of the game of, especially when Adam Thielen scores the touchdown. First of all, just kind of what happened on that play, and how were you guys able to watch everybody respond in that and not kind of collapse with just 30 seconds left and really know what needs to be done?
Well, we didn't really get back to our zone. One guy didn't really get back to their zone, so we gave up a touchdown there. That was disheartening, to say the least. But we had 30 seconds and 3 timeouts. We went over the scenario in practice. We've been going over it the past few weeks. We've been going over these things. Nobody panicked when we got the ball. Baker hit Mike on a big play, and we got some other plays to get down there, used our timeout. We were on the fringe of a field goal. We needed a couple more yards, and Sterling caught the ball and got down real quick, and we called timeout, and it executed just like we practiced it. And they didn't panic, and it looked like we learned some lessons from the first half of the season.
Yeah, and what was it like to be in these crunch time situations where you already were going into the game without multiple members of your defense and secondary, and then you lose KJ and you lose Mike Edwards, and you've got guys having to move around, bringing different guys in? How did that affect what you were able to call and do, and then how those different backups handled being thrown into the fire there?
It affected a few things, but I thought they competed. I thought Tavier competed. I thought JJ went in and competed, and I thought they played tough. We didn't do everything we could have done or wanted to do, but at the same time, those guys did what they did well.
And then how had Mike Edwards been playing prior to getting hurt in the wake of Jordan being out?
Mike was playing very well. He was off to a good game. I mean, he played very well. He covered well. He played the run well, and it was unfortunate for him.
Do we know much about his injury at this point or how severe it could be?
Not at this time. He'll get an MRI tomorrow.
And then I know Christian Izien is a guy that just feels like, again, he has had to do so many different things. He might be one of the bigger unsung heroes of this defense. What stood out about his game in the various roles he got to play?
He's physical. He's physical and he's fast. He's going to make some plays. Obviously, he's always around the ball. He may miss a tackle here and there, but for the most part, he's a very sure tackler. He's quick from A to B. He's very tough and he's very competitive. And I thought his man coverage was very good.
How about Jamel and Zion? What did you see in their coverage?
Jamel didn't get much action when he played off. They caught the one ball, but he played very good press coverage. I thought Zion played good the whole day. He got some PBUs. He had about 3 PBUs. He played smart. He used his head. He didn't try to use his athleticism all the time. He really played a smart, heady football game.
I know you mentioned before that tackling had been a big point of emphasis that you guys, especially during the self-scouting part of the bye week, had stood out to you. Now, 2 games in after the bye week, how do you feel about how it's going?
We were better last week. I know we missed 3 last week. I'm not sure how many we missed this time. I know we missed the one against Brooks on the sideline. We didn't miss too many. We still got a gang tackle to the football, though.
And then how about for special teams, some of the stuff that stood out in terms of Chase, having to hit 2 really crucial field goals. And then I know Gill also had a little bit of struggles with at least, 1 punt and then the kickoff landing zone issue. What were some of the things behind that?
Chase played well. He missed a tough field goal, obviously going into the win. It was a stretch to get there in the first place, but he made the game winner. He made the game tire, and he played very well. Gill had a rough day. He had a rough day. Something we can't have. We lost field position quite a bit, and luckily the defense held him out and held him to 3, so we were okay there, but we got to punt the ball better. That'll cost us some ball games.
All right, we have one more segment left. We'll be right back on the Todd Bowles Show. It's time for our final segment here on the Todd Bowles Show. Casey Phillips here with head coach Todd Bowles. All right, facing the Raiders here at home. Let's start with Max Crosby. This is a fun guy to go against, I'm sure. Tell me what stands out about him.
His motor, his effort, whether he's getting singled, doubled, tripled. His motor, his effort, he's relentless getting back there. He's been playing great football the past few years. Seeing him in person, he's going to be a problem.
What are the biggest challenges of facing someone like him? What are the hardest things in terms of game planning and preparing for that in matchups?
Definitely how you're going to double him, how you're going to chip him, where he's going to be, because they move him around quite a bit. He can really wreck a game all by himself.
And then someone else that's able to wreck a game by himself, Brock Bowers as a rookie is just having an amazing season. I mean, last game, 140 yards on 10 catches and a touchdown. Also had a game go for 126 yards. How impressive is that specifically as a rookie tight end?
It's very impressive because he catches the ball like a wideout, and everyone knows he's getting the ball and no one's stopped him yet. He can be inside, he can be outside, he can beat corners, he can beat safeties, he can beat linebackers, he can beat all the above, and then when you go put your best guy on him, they get in there and put him in tight, and he can block. So he's going to be a problem to deal with on Sunday.
They've had a little bit of a revolving quarterback situation so far this season out there. How much have you seen that affect who they are and what they're able to do, and then with now Aiden O'Connell out there?
I think O'Connell did a great job against Kansas City last week. He took them down. They were on the cusp of getting a field goal to win the ball game with the errant snap, but he plays with vision. He plays smart. He goes through his reads. He understands the offense very well. I think Scott and Norv do a great job of coaching him on what he's seeing. So I like what I see when I look at him.
What else stands out about their offense or some other weapons besides those guys?
Huge offensive line. They got 2 tight ends with Meyer and obviously the big kid from Georgia that can really catch the football, but they can run the ball very well. They got Jacoby Myers outside that can catch the ball really well. They do a nice job with play action pass.
And then how about outside of Max Crosby, the rest of their defensive front?
Huge upside on the inside, very big on the inside. They got Kason on the other side as backers. They play nickel coverage. Hobbs does a heck of a job. They disguise very well. They can play man all over the field at any time. So it's going to be a challenge for us getting open because they play tight coverage.
And I know this has been such an important stretch coming out of the bye. This is the only home game out of the first 5 games back from the bye. Does that make it feel a little extra special or a little different knowing that finally this is kind of the one home game during this really crucial stretch?
Home or away, it's a playoff game, and we're happy to be home so we don't have to travel, and it's happy to be in front of our fans, but we got to come out ready to play and give them something to cheer about.
And then finally, with it feeling almost like a playoff scenario since the bye week, how do you keep the team that high but not too high where then it becomes too much?
Got to play. You got to live for the moment. You got to live for the moment. We take it day by day. We work on ourselves. We try to correct the little things so we can make the things easy on Sunday.
All right, well, Coach, thank you so much as always. We appreciate it.
You got it.